Do not attempt to adjust your dial. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. It's your boy Big Vern. This is App Stupid, the fastest growing sports and entertainment show on these YouTube streets. You're welcome. Holla at us. Big Vern coming to you on a beautiful Friday. Kind of crazy outside. They're calling for storms today. So make sure you get your pets out. Get them out early while it's nice. And then get them back in where it's warm and dry. First segment, we talked about LeBron James and the haters. Haters gonna hate. I don't know why, what that's all about. Then our last segment, we talked about Devin the Dream Haney. He makes his return to the squared circle today on DAZN. Make sure you go ahead and get the pay-per-view. So from the world of boxing, going to go to the world of college football. Michigan is caught in a bombshell investigation. Now, for those of you all who haven't been following this, the guy you see on this graphic here, his name is Matt Weiss. Michigan is seeking immunity in a data breach bombshell investigation where this dude went in and stole a female athlete's personal information. He got access to their electronic devices, and he was taking compromising photos of these women, and he was even reduced to stalking these people. And this guy's a former football staffer, and he's accused, like I said, of downloading personal information of female athletes and stalking them. The lawyers representing the women suing the school argue Michigan must provide information about how their data was breached by Weiss. And I'll be honest with you, that's a fair ask, because if this dude was given access to this system through the either passwords or he was cleared to do this, you need to provide that, because this isn't something that run-of-the-mill people would try. Again, this is a fair ask. If a guy had access to all of this data and he did it on campus grounds, how is it that you don't know anything? This is not a willful ignorance. You can't sit there and say, we didn't do this or we had no idea. Sure you did. Instead of answering the question, the attorneys representing Michigan say that the school has governmental immunity, which limits lawsuits against federal institutions under the 11th Amendment. Now, is this a case where they don't want to incriminate themselves in an admitted statement on the record? Could be. They also argue that there is no evidence that the data breach has not created ongoing or future harm for the women. There is no claim that plaintiffs have had banking, credit, or other similar issues during the more than 2 years after Weiss was discharged and the notification letter was received. So they are arguing if these women haven't been violated and had their identity taken in over 2 years, then it can't be this serious. I will tell you, stop talking. What a dirtbag position to say. As a father of a daughter, I wouldn't want my daughter to be sending compromising photos to any individual. However, I understand everybody has their right to privacy. Also, by that same token, I don't want a complete perv getting that information and then stalking her. And I don't want a lawyer to sit up here and say, you know what? He might have looked at those compromising photos. He might have stalked this individual, but we fired him 2 years ago. Has she been stalked ever since then? What? Has she been harassed ever? What? That is complete scumbag 101 behavior. And I don't know why you would make that argument. I don't think anybody has the balls to make that argument. Oh my goodness. Give me a quick rap album and then we'll get on the other side of the content. It's your boy Big Vern. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. It's your boy Big Vern coming to you live from the App Stupid Studios. We pushing another rap album this month. Ray Vaughn, The Good, The Bad, The Dollar Menu, in stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is The Dollar Menu, 3 p.m. at Derry's, East Chat, Clown Dance, Janky and Compass, featuring Samara Sin and Sydney Leona, and Miles Away from Heaven. Ray Vaughn, The Good, The Bad, The Dollar Menu, in stores now. Yo, shout out to Ray Vaughn doing this thing. The Good, The Bad, The Dollar Menu. Shout out to Top Dog Entertainment, Music Collective. It's the same organization that bought you Kendrick Lamar and Reasons. Like I said, I was digging the album. So when we left off on the other side of the content, we were talking about the hideously gross and disgusting lawyers for the University of Michigan. And I'm not even going to dignify that with a follow-up. Now, the lawyers for the victims argue that immunity does not protect Michigan in an instance where one of its employees violates the privacy of thousands of female athletes. That would be a good statement, and I would actually side with their attorneys on this, because it's not like he did this just at the University of Michigan. Yeah, it's awful he did this to these women and these female athletes. He did this to multiple women in the Big Ten Conference. Let that sink in. This dude's ridiculous perversion led him to do this to follow other female athletes on other campuses. You don't know the full wide range and scope of what this man was doing. And they're trying to keep it hush. They're trying to go ahead and not say anything about this because it's ongoing. However, it's giving people the vibes that because you're tied to the football program, you're above the law. Because you're affiliated with the football and the success of the Michigan Wolverine football team, hey, look, I've got carte blanche to go out here and do whatever I want to do. That's not reality. That's not reality. And if you want to go look at the track record, Michigan is a swamp. I'm not going to mix word with that. Michigan is swampy as hell. This dude was running around doing this to female athletes. Okay, allegedly. Let me throw that in here because I don't want to get sued. Allegedly, this dude was doing that to female athletes. At the same time, Connor Stallions is running around here stealing signs. At the same time, you have the current coach right here, Sharon Moore. He was out there in repeated violations during recruiting violations during the C-19 era. Also, Jim Harbaugh was fixed up in that as well. He was suspended by not only the NCAA, but he was also suspended by the conference. All of these people work together. Yeah, all of these people work together. So you see how problematic and how chaotic it was. And I know you had some guys out there running defense on these stories and try and kill these stories and try and keep them from coming to light, like Newsemeyer or whatever. He does the NFL stuff, and he was like, oh, Michigan, they just hate us because they're not us. No, you all had a lot of shady shit going on in Michigan. And apparently no one was safe. It's not an institution that I would have placed in this situation. Because if the institution knowingly empower or fail to supervise employees who violate the trust and privacy of thousands of current and former female student athletes, then you have to hold that said institution accountable. You're not having any different standards for them that you don't have for yourself or your employer has for you. If you did this at your job, got every access to every female's phone that works with you, that works in that office, that works in the company, and you had access to not only their private, intimate photos and videos that they chose to send their special someone, but you also started stalking them, how fast would you be locked up? How fast would you be fired? You would be fired and you would be vanquished, and then they would tar and feather your name, and it would be impossible for you to get another gig because they would have labeled you a creep. But the media goes out of their way to protect guys like this so he can get another job, and he will probably do this again. You don't wake up and start doing something like this. You've been doing something like this. And it wasn't just, oh, he did it for a summer. This thing ran for a couple of years. And when it comes to the attorneys that are representing the female victims, he hit the nail on the head. He hit the nail on the head, at least for me. He went on to say that the university's attempt to sidestep accountability by hiding behind legal technicalities speaks volumes about its priority, and more of this is centered around the safety and justice for the victims involved. I'm end quote. Yes, high five you. Yeah, Michigan is trying to dodge accountability. This guy's a creep. And they allowed him to do creepy things under the guise of football. Now he's been gone for 2 years. And Michigan, the attorneys representing Michigan are saying, hey, look, because the victims haven't had any news stalkers or they haven't had their identity stolen, how serious is the crime? You know, scumbags, complete scumbags. Anyway, if you can defend Mr. Weiss, I don't know why you would try, but get in the comments. It's your boy Big Vern. Again, if you are listening to this pod, get in the comments. Let us know that we get it right. What did we leave out? This is Big Vern. We talk back. We'll be back. We'll be back. Top